I, Nate the Great, am a detective. This morning, I did not have a case to solve. I woke up late. I stretched. My dog Sludge stretched. We looked out the window. The sun was shining. The birds were singing. A tortoise was eating. A tortoise was eating the flowers in my garden. I do not own a tortoise. Sludge does not own a tortoise. Sludge and I rushed out to the backyard. The tortoise started to eat a petunia. A bite here, a bite there. He started to eat a daisy. A bite here, a bite there. I, Nate the Great, like to look at flowers. Soon there would not be any flowers to look at. I stared at the tortoise. He was green. He had a thick shell and a big appetite. He did not have any teeth, but he did good work without them. I knew I must take him away, but what would I do with him? You must live somewhere, I said. You must have an address and a telephone number. I knew that a tortoise can live for a very long time. This tortoise could be 100 years old. He should know where he lives by now. He started to crawl away, slowly, very, very slowly. Was he on his way home? No, he was on his way to eat my violets. This tortoise was lost. He needed help. I said, I, Nate the Great, have never taken a case for anyone who is green and has a thick shell. But I must find out where you live and take you there. I got dressed. I wrote a note to my mother. Dear Mother, I am on a green case. I am helping a tortoise. I hope the case moves faster than he does. I will be back. Love, Nate the Great. I, Nate the Great, got a box. I put lots of holes in it. Then I put the tortoise in the box. I am taking you home, I said, wherever that is. Where was his home? I was thinking, this tortoise is slow. Perhaps he did not crawl very far from home. Perhaps he lives near here, but he knows how to find food. He could have been crawling and eating for days. He could have eaten his way from the other side of town. This tortoise could live anywhere. I spoke to Sludge. This is a strange pet. Who would own a strange pet? Sludge knew the answer. We rushed to Rosamond's house with the box. We walked up the front steps. Sludge sniffed the steps. Step by step, I bent down to see what Sludge was sniffing. It was a trail of crumbs. They led to the front door. Sludge scratched on the door. Rosamond opened it. She was holding 2 crumbling cupcakes. Her cats, Little Hex, Plain Hex, Big Hex, and Super Hex were eating crumbs from the floor. I have brought over a lost pet, I said. Why, thank you, Rosamond said. She opened the box and saw the tortoise. This is not a cat, she said. It is green and has a shell. I do not want it. This is not a gift, I said. I found this tortoise and I am looking for his home. Do you know anybody who has lost a pet? I heard that Claude lost something, Rosamond said. But I don't know what it is. Claude is always losing things. You are losing your cupcakes, I said. They are turning into crumbs. These are tuna fish cupcakes, Rosamond said. Want some? I, Nate the Great, had not eaten breakfast. I was hungry, but I was not that hungry. Sludge was licking up the crumbs. It was time to leave. I said goodbye to Rosamond. Sludge sniffed his way down the steps. Then we went to Claude's house. Claude opened the door. I stared at him. There was something missing. He was not wearing a sock on his left foot. Have you lost a tortoise? I asked. No, Claude said. I have lost my sock. Do you know anybody who owns a tortoise? I know that Pip and Oliver and Esmeralda and Annie do not own a tortoise, Claude said. They do not have my sock either. Can you look for it? I, Nate the Great, am on a case. I must find out where a tortoise lives. My case is bigger, Claude said. My sock is size 11.5. I cannot look for it, I said. I will give you a clue, Claude said. The sock matches the one on my right foot. Good idea, I said. Sludge and I walked away. Claude yelled after us. If you find my sock and it doesn't look as good as my right sock, I don't want it. I need a match. I, Nate the Great, needed some pancakes. Sludge needed a bone. We went home. I took the tortoise out of the box. He crawled around the kitchen. Slowly. Very, very slowly. I made pancakes. I gave Sludge a bone. The tortoise looked at me. Was that a hungry look? You are full of flowers, I said. He kept looking. I gave him a piece of pancake. He took a little bite. Your owner must wonder where you are and when you are coming home, I said. You are one tardy tortoise. I, Nate the Great, ate a pancake and thought. I needed a clue. What did I know about this tortoise? Did he have any friends or relatives? How about hobbies? I knew that he liked flowers, crawled very slowly, and kept his secrets. That was it. This tortoise was never going to get anywhere. He was never going to be president of the United States or captain of the track team. He was just a pet, like Sludge. Suddenly, I knew what to do and where to look. This case is almost solved, I said to Sludge. I know who would know where this tortoise lives. I picked up the tortoise and put him back in the box. Let's go, I said. I, Nate the Great, and Sludge rushed to the veterinarian with the box. Tortoises must come here just like most pets do, I said. There should be a record of where this tortoise lives. We walked into the waiting room. It was full of dogs, cats, and people. The cats were meowing. The dogs were barking. One dog was barking the loudest. It was Annie's dog, Fang. He looked mad. Fang has a sore tooth, Annie said. Look. I, Nate the Great, did not want to look at Fang's tooth. I am here on a case, I said. I opened the box. I need to ask the vet where this tortoise lives.
Oh, a tortoise.
Annie said,
I have never seen one here.
I have never seen one here either, I said. But they do not meow. They do not bark. And they probably come here in a box. A tortoise could be here and we would not see or hear him.
Yes,
Annie said.
but a tortoise is a reptile. This place is not for reptiles, birds, goldfish, goats, pigs, wolves.
How do you know? I asked.
Because they thought Fang was a wolf the first time I brought him. That's when I found out who doesn't get in.
I, Nate the Great, sat down next to a noisy cat. This case was going slower than the tortoise. This case had come to a dead end. There was only one more thing I could do. I could get the name of a reptile vet and go there, and walk into a waiting room filled with rattlesnakes, boa constrictors, lizards, alligators, crocodiles, and other creepy creatures. Some of them have sharper fangs than Fang. I had seen enough bites today. I did not want to see any more, especially on me. This case had begun with bites. The tortoise was biting my flowers. Biting. Perhaps that was a clue. But what could I do with it? I looked at Sludge. He was the only dog in the room who was not barking. He was sniffing. I thought about him sniffing the trail of tuna fish cupcake crumbs. A trail. Did that mean something? All at once, I, Nate the Great, knew that the tortoise and Sludge had given me the clues I needed to solve this case. We rushed home. We went into the backyard. I pulled out my magnifying glass. We are looking for a trail, I said. A trail of bite marks on the flowers. I looked to the right. There were no bite marks. I looked to the left. I saw bite marks shaped like little U's. On flower after flower. Follow those U's, I said to Sludge. The tortoise ate his way to our house, so we will follow the trail of bites backward until we reach his house. Sludge and I crept through my garden, past the U's on the petunias, on the daisies, on this flower and that flower. Then the flower stopped. So did Sludge and I. The trail stops here, I said, and the cement walk starts. The tortoise did not bite cement. We must go to the yard next door. Sludge and I rushed to the next yard. We saw flowers, and we saw U's. This is easy, I said. This trail leads straight to another yard. Sludge and I made our way to the next yard. Then we stopped. This is not easy, I said. This yard has no flowers. There are only weeds and grass. Are they on the tortoise's menu? Sludge and I peered down. We did not see any U's, but we did see a trail of dirt where weeds had been, where grass had been. The trail zigzagged. Sludge and I zigzagged. We zigzagged to the other side of the yard. The tortoise had munched and crunched his way from end to end. Then the trail stopped. More cement. on to the next yard, I said. The next yard was full of rocks, but I saw something bright on the ground. Was it part of a flower? I bent down to look. It was Claude's sock. It was full of holes. I, Nate the Great, have just solved a case I did not want to solve, and found a sock Claude will never want to wear. I picked up the sock and put it in my pocket. Rocks and a sock, I said. This yard is no help. The trail is cold, but we will not give up. On to the next yard. The next yard was full of statues. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, 5 flamingos, and 3 ducks. There was nothing alive or green or growing. The tortoise could not have eaten here. The trail is getting colder, I said. Snow White, the 7 dwarfs, 5 flamingos, and 3 ducks cannot help us find the tortoise's home. But I, Nate the Great, will never give up. Sludge wagged his tail. We went to the next yard. It was a mess. I saw pieces of flowers, pieces of weeds, pieces of grass. The yard had been bitten to death. Sludge and I looked at each other. I, Nate the Great, say that the tortoise must have eaten many meals in this yard. This must be his favorite restaurant. And suddenly, I knew why. I saw a fence with a sign on it. Beware of the tortoise. I opened the box. I spoke to the tortoise. Welcome home, I said. The case is solved. I took the tortoise out of the box. Suddenly, a lady came from behind the fence. She ran toward us.
Speedy, did you escape under the fence again? You are late for lunch.
Lunch? I thought.
This tortoise never stopped eating breakfast.
I handed Speedy to the lady. Sludge's tail drooped. He was sorry to see Speedy go. So was I. Speedy was a flower wrecker, a very slow mover, and he had nothing to say. But he was an okay tortoise. We will be back to visit, I said. If you are here, remember where you live. I reached into my pocket. I pulled out Claude's sock. I tied it to the top of a stick. I stuck the stick in the ground. A flag for you, Speedy. This land is yours. You ate it. Then Sludge and I and the empty box started home. Slowly. Very, very slowly.